What's up, guys? So today, as you can see outside, it's very sunny and about 65, so I think it's time to take the snow tires off of the Cruze and put on the regular tires. Now, Chevy's got a fun thing where their tire sensors don't automatically learn. Most common, I know Chrysler for sure, Jeep, Dodge, all those, they would auto learn when I was working at the dealership. So you just move them around, take it for a test drive, and then they would learn their position. With Chevys, you got to actually do it manually and tell the tires where they are on the vehicle. So I got a tool that I bought from Amazon. I'll get the link in the description if it's still available, to have an auto learn or a relearn tool. And it's not an auto learn, but a relearn tool on the vehicle so that you can do your own tire changes and update the location, because that's something that's really simple that only requires a couple jack stands and a floor jack, or even you can use the emergency jack that comes with the vehicle and do that and save yourself a little bit of money down the road. Also, once we get to it, I'll show you guys oil changes and other things like that too with the other vehicles I have. But we're going to do the tires on this guy right now. I think winter is officially gone away, bye-bye, so we'll take a chance with that here in the Rust Belt and put on the regular summer tires and take the snow tires off. Okay, so here we go with the original street tires on them. One thing you guys want to do is go to the parts store, pick up one of these tire tread depth gauge. They're real quick and easy, so that way what you want to do is always put if you're rotating tires out like this from summer to winter, all that, I'd make it a general practice to put whichever tires have the most tread on the drive wheels. So if it's front wheel drive, you put them on the front. If it's on the rear, you put them on the rear. That way it keeps your tread wear even, because you've taken them off the vehicle. It doesn't really matter where they are in the rotation as long as you have the highest tread tires on the drive wheels. So that way it'll wear down first and then quicker on those drive wheels, and then you can switch it back. Now, when you're measuring these, see if you can get a good shot here. That little tiny piece of rubber that's down in there that my gauge is catching on, that's called a wear bar. So basically, if your tires are down to that wear bar and it's a smooth line all the way across, then you're definitely at a point where you want to replace your tires. Usually that's at 3 millimeters. These ones look like they're a little bit shorter just because they're low profile tires. But when you're taking your measurement, you don't want to have your tool, get a better line up here, you don't want to have your tool on top of that and then you just press down, so then that'll read 5 millimeters. So if you do it the right way, where you're not on the wear bar, you can see that I'm almost at 8. So that tells you can get a false reading if you hit that wear bar. So basically what I do, just to make sure, is I put it in, I kind of just wiggle it back and forth just to make sure I'm not on a wear bar. Push it down against the tread, and then whatever line is reading at the top there, so I'm just under 8. And then you want to do multiple readings across the tire. You don't want to just do one shot in the middle and then move on with your day. You want to check the shoulder, in the middle, and the other shoulder to kind of figure out. It also helps you check for uneven wear on your tires. So if you're doing this on your own throughout the summer, you can find out ahead of time early if you have some type of suspension issue possibly, where you would need to get that checked out. And it just helps you make sure that you're getting an accurate reading across the tire for your tread depth. So funny enough, these two center ones are at that 7, almost 8, and then the other ones are at 6. So what I'm going to do is put these two center ones up front, the two outside ones I've got on the back, and then we'll get them swapped out, and I'll show you how to do the tire learn process on the Chevy Cruze. Alright guys, so first things first is I'm not going to tell you each individual step for this, because this is something you should be able to look up in your car manual. If your car didn't come with one, you should be able to find it online, and it's specific to each vehicle. So as far as changing the tires out, now the process of doing the tire pressure sensor relearn, I'll show you that because that's specific to this vehicle. But otherwise, the process itself for getting the car up on the jacks, taking the tires off, all that, that's vehicle specific. So you're gonna have to look it up in your manual, look it up for your specific vehicle if you're looking at this for something else. But just as a safety standpoint, always use jack stands. Don't just rely on the floor jack. And best thing is to make sure somebody knows you're doing something under the car, because if for some reason something happens and the car falls down on you, people know to look for you. So but basically, if you're using power tools like an impact, that's great. Jack it up, put it on the jack stands in the appropriate places by the manual, and then just buzz the wheels off. If you don't have a impact wrench, a battery operated or electric impact, then what you want to do is, before you lift it up, take a tire iron, break all the nuts loose, at least just pop them loose, so then once you jack it up, then you can actually spin them off, because you don't want to spin them off while it's still on the car, because then the wheel could fall off, and you don't want to wait till you put it up on the jack stands to try and break it free, because sometimes even your parking brake, or even if it's a manual and in gear, automatic transmission, whatever, you won't be able to get enough leverage on the tire to break the nuts loose without the wheel turning, and then you're just fighting physics at that point, and you're not going to win. So but that's all I got to say about that. So look at your manual, make sure you know what you're doing. If you have questions, you know, you can post comments in the bottom and I'll try to reply to them if you're interested in my 2 cents. But look in your manual, do your research, know where to put jack stands, know where to lift the car from so you don't damage the body at all, and then go about your day. Also, be sure to look up your actual torque specs for your wheels. The other thing you should have for this is a torque wrench, so you can actually torque the nuts down to the proper torque. Don't rely just on the impact and a torque stick, which I'll show you that later on, to torque the wheels. The sticks break down, don't have that accurate. Your gun could be weak. Always use a torque wrench, and then check them. Drive, you know, go for a couple errands driving around doing something. Go for 20 to 50 miles of a drive, check them. If it's big temperature changes right after you change it, like it's in the spring right now, it's 65 degrees outside. If it drops to, you know, 30 tomorrow, because I'm in the Midwest and that's what happens with our weather, you want to make sure to recheck them just to make sure that nothing happened, especially with aluminum wheels, because they're more receptive to heat and expansion and contraction and all that jazz. Steel wheels, still want to be safe, still want to double check them. But that's all I got to say about that. So I'm going to get back to this, get the wheels changed out, and then show you guys how to reprogram the Tpms sensors. Alright YouTube, so here we are. We got the tires all changed out and we're inside the cab now. This is the tool that I use. I got off of Amazon. I don't remember how much it was, but there's the part number. I'll try to find a link for it and put it in the description, but it works great. All it does is just communicate a signal with the tire pressure sensor, to initiate to the car, basically to tell it where it is in the positioning. With Chevy, they've done it for a long time, where you actually have to go around, like I said, and actually assign each position. Other manufacturers have it auto learn. So this is a pretty generic procedure from what I understand. Like, I looked it up for my vehicle. This is a 2018 Chevy Cruze hatchback with a diesel, the 1.6 diesel, and a manual transmission. So it's a LT package with the RS wheels and the body kit and everything. It was the only way that I got this diesel. I wanted the diesel because of the gas mileage, but I got it because of that kind of gas mileage. Last 450 miles, 38.2, and that's mixed driving. So I am super stoked. 42.8, and you can see the kind of gas mileage I get out of this thing. It's amazing. I used to drive 120 miles a day for work, so that's why I bought it. But anyways, we'll get back to that later, and I'm gonna kill a spider that's trying to crawl in my car, and now we will get to the process. So on the steering wheel here, you just navigate. Whoop. Oh, cancel that. Hit the wrong button. Have to edit that. On the steering wheel here, you just navigate over to the vehicle where it says tire pressure. It's the same one. You got all this other stuff here, exhaust, oil change, all that good stuff. So tire pressure, you just hold down the check button in the middle there until it says, hey, do you want to initiate this? Attempt number 2 at this, apparently it decided not to record, or I hit the wrong button for the first time. So I wanted to show you guys the actual procedure on how this works, so that you'll know what you're looking for, what looks right and everything when we do this tire pressure monitor system reset. So get to the screen with shows your tire pressure, and then you hold down the check button. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ask, do you want to relearn? You hit yes. It'll honk twice at you, tell you that it's learning is active. Don't hit the check button when you get out. And you'll see the blinkers on. It tells you which wheel to go to. Then you just take your little device, hold it up. That one beep tells you it's red, and the light moved over here. And you just do the same thing. Rinse and repeat. You can see this blinker's on now back here. And there we go, there's that one's on. And it'll beep. I'm going to do a double beep and let you know it's done. So that's how you do it, guys. And then you just turn the car off, check your pressures, and you should be good to go. Thanks. Click like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you next time on Flatland Jeeper. Thanks. Bye.